Security of the APEC leaders meeting was a monumental mission for the Philippine National Police, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and other support groups. Tonight, we salute them for the service and sacrifice to ensure no harm affected our visitors. Tonight, we are joined by Congressman Samuel Pagdilao, member of the House Committee on Public Order and Safety and Defense, to give us his insights on how our security forces ensured no threat could disrupt the APEC summit. Good evening, sir, and welcome to NewsLife.
Good evening, Kathy, and thank you for inviting me here to join you in this program.
Sir, what is your assessment of the recent APEC meeting security plan?
Well, first of all, I'd like to join the rest of our country in commending and congratulating the security cluster for a very successful implementation of security protocol, ensuring that now no untoward incident happens during the entire APEC week. So they've made their preparations very well. They have implemented it, and we see the results of such thorough preparation and implementation.
And sir, given your experience as a PNP general, how long does it take to prepare for an event like this with 20 leaders from all over the world coming over to the country? And what are the considerations that should be put in place?
Well, preparations-wise, of course, you have to prepare the moment you hear that you're going to host the APEC, and I surmise it should be at least a year, or maybe more. So preparations will take, of course, training, planning, first and foremost planning, and going through, asking countries that had actually been able to successfully host APEC. Of course, we also have our own experience before when we had the APEC successfully hosted during the time of FBR. So all of these should be accounted and considered in the preparation and planning. And of course, you build up on the equipment and of course your organization, and you practice. So all of this will have to be carried out all the way up to the actual event. So you rehearse, continue on planning, refine, and practice some more. Then you have to do redundant things to be able to perfect. And of course, another very important component is the intelligence. You need to ensure that you cover all the possible threats, threats to peace and order and to the security of especially the heads of states, the economic leaders, and all of their delegates. So you look at the law and order, peace and order component, the security of VIPs, and of course any possibility of a man-made or natural disaster or calamity. So all of this need to be covered.
That's true, sir. And a few days before the actual APEC meetings, the Paris and Beirut attacks happened. What was the repercussion of these attacks on the security plan for the APEC?
Well, I'm sure that the problem or the concern about terrorism has been covered, but it's really more of reacting to what might be the consequence to the decision of world leaders or economic leaders. Are they going to push through coming here or withdraw from coming? So that's something that you would need to look into. But in terms of the actual threat, I believe, as I have experienced, that all of this has been covered. But of course, you would need to be updated on the actual threat assessment, whether or not there is imminent threat or maybe there's no actual and real threat at all. But on the overall, you really have to prepare for the worst. No? There's no such thing as overkill in preparation. So whatever we've seen in terms of how the security cluster prepared for this, all the things that they did, even those that created inconvenience for our people. This is something that is actually needed. That's part of security protocol, and you need not have to inform everybody, announce what you're going to do, because this is something, or this is part of security.
That's true. And sir, during the APEC summit, one of the very minor issues that arose was the clash of our military men or our policemen with some of the protesters. Can you enlighten us more on what really happened, and how come some of our policemen ended up being in the emergency room of a hospital?
Well, this is also something that is expected. No? In any APEC gatherings, we've seen it carried out in other countries. No? So this is, of course, a policy that you have to deal with, meaning, are you going to implement maximum tolerance in or vis-a-vis the right of a person to express his views? So freedom of expression is at stake here. So you really have to balance. While we do not actually prohibit a person or a group of persons to assemble freely and air their grievances, air their opinions, in terms of providing security, you can have them relocated or have them, do their thing at an area that won't affect the security and the stability of one area, especially those heads of states or our economic leaders carrying out, a very important activity, which is a forum to discuss economy and all the rest of the other topics. That's very important.
And one of the inconveniences that a lot of the people are really talking about up to now is the traffic congestion with the road closures and the diversions. So what lessons have we learned from this experience, and how can we improve next time?
Well, this is a trade-off. A successful and convenient implementation of an economic forum of that magnitude will have to trade off in terms of inconvenience to some people, or to a majority of our people, like traffic. So perhaps one thing that should be considered is the location of such an economic forum of this magnitude. It has been brought up actually that Clark or Subic may be, a better place where a convention or a forum of this magnitude should be held, rather than being held in Metro Manila. Of course, the other thing that you don't want is security, not only the convenience or inconvenience of people, but actually the security of those attending. We have 21 economic leaders or heads of states coming, so I believe there's a better place where you can really confine, the activity and all these very important people, so that you can secure them better than when you hold your forum or your event in a place like Metro Manila.
And sir, given the successful handling of the Philippines of major events such as the coming of Pope Francis to the Philippines and now the recently concluded APEC meetings, what do you think does this say about the forces of the Philippines in terms of dealing with security and how ready we are as a nation for any threat?
Well, in my experience, we've actually been asked to share what we have learned, how we did it in terms of, securing very, very delicate or very, sensitive events in our country. So we've been quite successful actually in hosting, and not only hosting, but ensuring the security and stability of all these big events in our country. Pope Francis, and all the previous big events. So we've been asked to share because we've done it. No? We've been quite successful about it, and this APEC, this recent APEC is something that should be looked into by the other countries will be hosting the APEC in the future. So I'm sure that all my former colleagues will be asked by security experts to share what lessons they are, lessons worth sharing, so that all APECs in the future will be as secure as what we have experienced here in Metro Manila.
And finally, sir, although the APEC meetings are over, the Christmas season is just around the corner. How do we give our support, or how do we assist our policemen in making sure that the next few weeks or months will be as peaceful, also with the elections coming up? Security is not a very easy task for the policemen to keep.
Yeah, that's right. First we just have to give them a little bit of rest, and then a little pat on their back. These policemen, the armed forces personnel, they're doing all of this. They're just sacrificing their time and their effort just to make sure that our people will be living in a peaceful environment. So one event to another event. So it's the cycle is like that. They just have to spend a little bit of time to refresh and reinvigorate before they again get involved or engage in another major peacekeeping activity, law enforcement activity. So we really have to give it to them. I commend the men and women of the Philippine National Police, as well as the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the other components who made up the security cluster that made this APEC a secured and stable event and made us really proud, our country proud.
And on that note, thank you very much, Congressman Samuel Pagdilao of Party List ACT-CIS. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.